Hi everyone, I'm Danielle Hunt, Chief Executive at the independent charity Pharmacists Support. Pharmacist Support provides a wide variety of support to pharmacists, their families, former pharmacists and pharmacy students. COVID-19 has brought new challenges and it's therefore important for us all to prioritise our wellbeing. To support our pharmacy family, back in May we launched our ACTNow campaign. The campaign hopes to raise awareness of the important issue of wellbeing and to support our pharmacy family to prioritise it. The ACTNow message is simple: allow time for wellbeing, consider your needs and take action. We've created a huge campaign website that hopefully provides lots of new tools and resources to help people support their own wellbeing. We're also really keen that people share their stories, and on the website there are lots of stories that people have already shared about their own experiences during this difficult time. I'm therefore delighted to be joined by the Black Pharmacists Collective, who are here to share some of their own experiences. We are incredibly grateful to some of the members who starred in our student videos developed with the PDA to help launch our ACTNow campaign. So welcome to you all. Thanks for joining me today. Really glad you've managed to take the time because I know you're all very busy. Would you mind just all introducing yourselves first and telling us a little bit about the role you play at the Black Pharmacists Collective?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having us. My name is Aneku. I'm the founder of the Black Pharmacists Collective. So a lot of what I do involves kind of managing the day-to-day duties and tasks that we have to do. I also oversee the mentorship program, so that involves kind of liaising with our mentors and our mentees just to see that things are continuing on track and kind of solving any issues that people may have. And then also I look after our academic side of things, so any of our academic events and things like that I oversee as well.
Hi, my name is Joel and I'm the GP and community executive. So I'm looking at careers in the GP and community sector of pharmacy and trying to tailor career events and any talks that we may have towards that kind of sector of pharmacy, and building a rapport with people in that network so that other students can have the opportunities that we've had thus far on the MPharm course. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Great.
Hiya, my name is Priscilla. Thank you for having me as well. So I look at the hospital side of pharmacy. So working as a pharmacist in the hospital sector, what it's about, looking at career opportunities in hospital, specialising, and basically advertising any like placements that people can have in hospital is what I do. And I also help out with kind of like supplying refreshments as well for the events that we have, such as like in focus groups. But everyone else does that as well, but I also oversee that part as well.
Right.
Hi, I'm Saria and I'm the primary care and hospital executive. So just because they're the more traditional roles in there, so they can be so varied and wide. I liaise with Joel and Priscilla on different aspects. So yeah, in community and GP pharmacy being quite a new avenue. So yeah, we're really excited to kind of delve into that, find who's undergone that route, and just diversify what pharmacy looks like, and just find different routes that you can go into.
That's great, thanks for that. That's really interesting. And you formed in the summer of last year, as I understand. How did the Black Pharmacists Collective come about?
So the Black Pharmacists Collective was set up around July last year, and it kind of came from a few things. So I was doing a placement at that time, and also I had done a few placements throughout the course of the MPharm. And from my experiences, I'd come to understand that you very rarely saw a lot of Black pharmacists within across all of the different sectors actually, but particularly it kind of stood out to me in the industry, as I am quite interested in going into industry in the future. So from there, I kind of went and did a little bit more research around the topic and found that there was a pre-registration gap at the assessment level. So when people were taking the GPHD exam, there was about a 30% gap consistently every year between Black students and their white counterparts. So for me, that kind of provided a little bit more clarity as to why even maybe that I might see Black pharmacy students, but then wouldn't see them in the professional career. So that kind of was a big issue to me, and I thought that it was something that we really needed to work on. So I kind of spoke to my to my fellow colleagues, and yeah, we decided that this was something that we really needed to work on, and so the PPC was formed.
Wow, that's amazing. And I suppose you've done so much already just in kind of the last few months, really. And I know we met and you helped us develop our student films that we were really grateful for. I mean, things have changed quite a lot since then. So we met last year, but I suppose the world has changed quite a lot. So really, I'm just interested in if there's any particular challenges that you as the Black Pharmacists Collective has identified as a result of COVID-19.
Hi, so one of the challenges that we faced during this time is the fact that we're not able to meet up. So because we're all in the same year group, everyone in the committee, should I say, it's easy to just meet up after lectures or to book time at certain times during our timetable to meet up. So I'd say not having that physical contact to be able to meet up is a challenge. And also finding out that we all have other schedules outside of our degree as well. So it means that we have to set up meetings on Zoom according to each other's schedules and try and figure out who's free at what time, and just try and slot in meetings here and there.
And I think that's similar for lots of people, isn't it? Everyone's had to kind of adapt to kind of a usual way of living. I suppose since lockdown, you talk about how things have changed in terms of meetings, but have any of you struggled with anything in particular?
Yeah, I think that for me, definitely, I have a big family, so being at home just comes with a whole different atmosphere and flow than it would be being at uni house and Uniacom. And I found it quite difficult balancing BPC life, personal interests, and then home life as well. Because like Priscilla said, when you're at uni, like it all kind of just comes together what you're doing, and then you can focus on the things that are there immediately. Also around exam season, which we've just finished our third year, but just that period where not being surrounded by friends and course mates, it kind of made it a bit more difficult to motivate myself, kind of to get into the flow of things. Nobody was like just readily available to discuss things with. But yeah, I think probably the most difficult thing I would say has been that I work in community pharmacy, so having colleagues go off for symptoms, childcare, things like that, I've been working a lot more. And so I think it's just the overall kind of being able to say no to certain shifts, even though I know that I'm needed, because I need to balance other things and things like that. So yeah, I think it's just the whole coming together and changing routines.
Yeah, and I suppose that's probably been really difficult, because when you're in a profession where it's all about giving care, to say no to those things when you think you might be needed must be really hard.
Yeah.
I suppose, have you learned anything about yourselves during this time?
I think something that I learned, but it was kind of something I already knew, but was kind of confirmed more during this time, is the fact that I quickly fill up my schedule. And it's kind of strange because we have a lot more time. We're not at uni anymore. I was working as well, but because my job wasn't like in pharmacy, it wasn't, should I say, frontline work. So I wasn't working as well, but I was filling up my days with other things and other schedules. So I quickly became quite busy. But I realized that I definitely needed a break. So I would say that there was like a benefit of the pandemic coming about, because I was able to take a break from my busy schedule, because I was filled up with a lot of things during term time as well. So definitely.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly you can fill your diary even when you've not got lots to do. So that's really interesting. And I suppose there's been so much going on, even though people have been in lockdown, there's been lots going on. And one thing in particular in the press has been the Black Lives Matters campaign, and it's featured really prominently over the last few weeks, even though it's been around for some time. I'm just wondering if that's affected the work you've been doing at all.
I definitely think that it has brought a lot of things to the forefront. The Black Lives Matter movement has definitely been around for so long, actually. It's been, I think, around since 2013. So it's not really necessarily a new thing, but on this global scale, with all these organizations and institutions acknowledging it, and acknowledging the role that they might play in affecting the daily lives of Black people, is maybe the new part. So for us, it has just been a lot of work with different organizations, different schools, talking to them to see how they can develop different strategies so that they can improve the lives of their Black students, and also just, you know, help them to be able to succeed as well as they should be, because at the end of the day, there are these systematic structures that are put in place that disproportionately affect their Black students. So organizations and schools really need to play their parts in doing what they can. So it's been really great to be able to have conversation with so many different people. A lot of new people have reached out to us and asking lots of new questions, which I think having that conversation is really important. So we've really enjoyed that. And also with us being in the middle of a pandemic, and not being able to meet up with people, social media has played such a huge role. So we've been trying to create content and, you know, host Instagram events and things like that, so that people across the country can kind of enjoy our events too and learn something new as well. So that's been really good for us.
Great. And I suppose we talked at the beginning about kind of this wellbeing focused, and I understand that part of the work you were doing was some wellbeing focused activities when you were able to attend university. And I saw your wall of kindness, which was absolutely amazing. Have you been continuing to address wellbeing, and have you done any activities remotely?
Just in general, before BPC, kind of, we're looking out for each other. We were all friends before, so I think just in our in the BPC team, we do look out for each other's well-being. We do just check up that everyone's handling the workload that they have quite well, just making sure that everything going forward is going well. In general, I don't think we have done any wellbeing events or specific things as the BPC, but we do have tips going forward. We do have like things that we like to focus on, like talking to those within your circle, making sure that you have a network of people that you can depend on, switching up routine, coming out of certain routines that you've developed, just to give yourself some space, some time. And with the BPC, we have a group chat of all our members. So we like to just pop in there. So that's beyond the BPC team of us. That's all the members that we have at our university. We like to check up on them, give them, and we like to like drop things that we find in their picture, and always make it available that anyone that needs anything, has any issues, can come speak to us, because we do think that it's really important to have your well-being at the forefront of everything you do. And we want to make sure that Black students especially feel that they do have people that they can come to, and they do have that space available to them. Definitely our university has released signposting to counselling services, online resources, things like that, which I think have been quite useful for people who have access to those things. And yeah, just in general with the wellbeing wall as well, the wall of kindness, which was really great. I think the greatest piece of advice that I've probably gotten from there is just that nothing is permanent, and that this too shall pass. So like for everyone going through struggles and things like that, that this pandemic and this situation that I know has been hard for a lot of people is going to come to a time where it ends and things will go back to flowing the way that people are used to. I think that's really important to kind of remember and keep at the forefront.
So it's really great to hear about all the work you've been doing, but I'm really keen to find out about the future and where BPC is heading. You're all third year students. Can you tell me what the future looks like?
So yeah, we'll all be starting our fourth year in September, which just seems so strange to say because I honestly remember the first day of the MPharm and just feeling so nervous and kind of not knowing where things were going to turn out. But I'm really looking forward to completing my pre-reg. Personally, I'm quite interested in applying for industry and hospital roles. So we'll see how that turns out in the next couple of months, but I'm feeling quite positive about those things. In terms of the BPC, we're all really looking forward to continue the work that we've been doing, even past pre-reg. So we really want to be able to work with a lot of different pharmacy schools, others that are not Manchester, and just kind of see ways that we can help these schools to implement policies and strategies that support their Black students as well as their BME students as well. We really think that it's important to work at these things from the ground upwards. So really helping support students whilst they are still in education and before they get into the working world, where things are a lot more difficult to correct at that point. So we really want to be able to continue to support both students and pre-reg trainees. So yeah, that's what we're really hoping to do in the next couple of years.
Yeah. The future is definitely exciting. It's definitely looking bright for us. I'm really looking forward to see what we're capable of. But yeah, just recently, someone asked me why we named ourselves the Black Pharmacists Collective when we're pharmacy students. And I just answered that it's because we're looking towards the future. What we do is not just going to be limited to the undergraduate status that we are at now, that all undergrads, all pre-regs are looking towards one goal, and that is to become a qualified pharmacist. And that is why we created this group, to see more Black pharmacists in the qualified roles, doing the things that we know we're all capable of doing. So yeah, that's what our aim is going to be overall, just to get more Black pharmacists out there at all stages of life that we go through. We will constantly be putting out more Black pharmacists, encouraging, finding ways to really up those numbers and up the positions that we're in, find ways to get into the places that we need to be in to see the changes that we're really set out to see. Yeah.
I think overall as well, as the Black Pharmacists Collective, we really are trying to give Black pharmacy students and professionals a voice. So whether it's in their curriculum or whether it's in their workplace, if there's anything that they feel that maybe their workplace or their institution in general can do more to support Black pharmacy students, they should have the confidence to be able to speak up about it and suggest changes, because it's only when we speak up and we suggest changes that things can be put in place. I think it's easy to think that in the Western world, in a place such as the UK where we feel like it's developed, that people are just automatically going to put the right things in place, and people may have good intentions as to helping Black pharmacy students or Black people in general, but if we don't actually say what we want, those changes may not actually be that effective.
So the future definitely does look bright, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to speak to me today. Before we finish, our ACTNow campaign is all about sharing experience, because I really do think that helps other people to see they're not alone and their feelings are quite normal. I think everyone at some stage has felt overwhelmed or had difficulties with certain aspects of the COVID-19 pandemic. And before we finish, is there anything else you'd like to share the people listening today about your experiences?
Hi, for me, I wasn't really used to Zoom calls and just doing anything like face to face over the internet. So it required me to adjust drastically to the requirements of, the world that we live in, because any meetings we'd have with academics, it requires a Zoom call, and you'd be in a room full of people you may not even seen or heard of before, and it's just now that everyone had to be way more interactive than we were used to. So that is like on the academic front, but then like with BPC, you know, having to have your camera on and other extracurriculars that I'm in, it was quite interesting because, you know, I'm someone who is, I would say, quite reserved. So having people who can see your household and your family life and all the rest of it, it was like, it's quite intense, to be honest, I would say. And even now on the call, having to change location 3 times and people not knowing why you have to keep moving around the rooms. So yeah, it's been an interesting situation, but it's definitely helped to bring out more confidence in myself as well, like being able to speak to others over the phone, face to face. And I think that's definitely something I'll continue doing in the future.
Yeah, I would also just like to add like a piece of advice for either aspiring Black pharmacy students or current students as well, just to continue to persevere and also just to not limit themselves. A lot of the time, limits are placed on us, on maybe the things that we can achieve or the types of careers that we can go into. To those students, I'd just like to say that you know, the world is really your oyster, that you can achieve anything that you want to put your mind to, and really it just requires you to just continue to work hard and be brave. So yeah, I think that's really important for students in general to remember, but particularly I just want to speak to Black students as well.
I would like to add as well, in terms of the academic side as well, is that don't be ashamed if you are struggling with anything in terms of the content. Like, the content is a lot and it can be quite a lot, especially if you're not used to it. For example, like, I didn't take biology A level, so a lot of the content was new to me. I remember when I was going to start my degree, like, someone was asking me, like, how are you doing pharmacy? You haven't done biology. But, you know, all these things you do pick up, and when you have good friends, such as people who are here today and those who aren't able to make it, they can definitely make the road easier. And you just have to, like the next said, believe that you can do anything you put your mind to. So even if you do struggle, everyone struggles, even those who are considered like the top of the class struggles. So it's just about perseverance, and if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it.
That's fantastic, and I really do appreciate you all taking the time today. I think the work that you're doing is absolutely amazing, and it's voluntary, and the fact you're taking the time to work on this when you are students and you do have part-time jobs and there's lots going on is absolutely amazing. I think at the charity we are really, really happy that we've connected and are really keen to continue to work together in the future, and look forward to work together to make sure we develop as a charity and that we can support the work that you're doing as well. So a huge thank you. I'm sure everyone will find everything you said really interesting and really useful. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.